host the Dallas Mavericks at Chase Center. Today for both teams with all of the center. He was out here warming up for about 10 minutes, but still weeks away. Dallas will start with possession. Here's Dante Exum playing in just his 9th game of the season. He's been out due to injury for most of the year, but a big player that Jason Kidd, very dangerous getting downhill.
This is interesting, Dave. You talk about small ball. If you're a fan of small ball, you're going to like this game because the tallest guy is about 6'7", 6'8" on the floor.
Here's Butler. No good on the three. Butler scored. 2 other Warriors have done that. Wilt Chamberlain and Kevin Durant. There's P.J. Washington hitting.
Center probably the rest of the way. Likes to limit his minutes, but that's what he gives you right there. Those guys have been doing that.
Almost 6 assists per game. Steph Curry has scored 20 points or more in 8 straight. That's a season high. Kessler Edwards with a free path to the basket.
Distance early for this Warriors defense.
Edwards making his 8th start of the season, and now he's going to defend Jimmy Butler on the other end. That pass through the lane and into the hands of Kyrie Irving, attacking Podziemski, hanging, can't flip it in. Batted out towards midcourt. Moses Moody collects. Here's Green in transition. Misses it. Keeps it alive, though. Dallas ball. Clay catch and shoot for 3. Thompson got a big ovation. 3rd time, as you said, playing in this building. Didn't see a lot of captain hats, though, like we saw in November when he made his first appearance here as a member of another team.
The numbers are huge. No surprise, Clay's made many threes in this building, but it's the accuracy that's impressive.
Nice pass by Exum and the slam. Edwards and an early timeout by Steve Kerr. Great energy for Dallas with a 9-4 lead.
Curry telling me it's just giving us a challenge, trying to figure things out on the fly. It's a skill set we haven't had, as he's a unique player. He said every possession doesn't feel as hard, and it's nice to have somebody else carrying the weight as we figure things out. And he says it's kind of fun, and they're hoping they can get the good times rolling into a strong playoff push and figure things out here going forward, Dave.
All right, Cassidy, Bob, I know it's only a snapshot out for the Warriors with Jimmy Butler in the lineup.
I think the thing a lot of people miss, Dave, is when you're putting a team together is you're trying to get the pieces that fit, right? That sounds pretty simple. How do you get pieces that fit? He really complements what they didn't have. The Warriors have been a high turnover team, a little erratic. It's worked for them. Moody knocks down the 3. Stabilizes them. He doesn't turn the ball over, and he gets to the free throw line, and he defends at a high level. So a lot of the things they were lacking, he delivered on.
Dunleavy just saw him. He was a teammate at one point of Jimmy Butler, so felt comfortable with Butler coming and helping out the locker room. I know that was a question some had as Washington hangs and had it blocked by Podziemski.
I think that was a big factor in it. Dunleavy was able to say, I know Jimmy. And yeah, has his moments, but he's a competitor. And that pushed the trade through. Part of that matters is you don't know what you're getting, Dave, when you make trades. You don't really know. They invested a lot of money in it. It wasn't just the trade. It was the 2 years of money afterwards. So having that was helpful.
Thought it was interesting when we talked with Steve Kerr before the game. Andre Iguodala is getting honored today as number 9. Will be raised to the Raptors after the game as Irving misfires on the 3. Kerr compared Butler's impact to that of Iguodala when he came here, and obviously you can speak to that because you helped bring Andre Iguodala.
And then you take advantage of all the shooting around you and all the movement and the spacing, and it really is a similar fit with Butler and Iguodala.
Edwards can't get the push shot. Podziemski rebounds. 5-0 run. Butler driving on Thompson, and a foul. And they're going to stay on the floor. Thompson didn't like the call anyway.
Berkeley, like I said, not all games count the same.
Butler with the slam. Draymond Green with the find. That tandem has been terrific so far. They have really gelled quickly.
Yeah, both know how to play off the ball, on the ball, and that's just a huge advantage. Just knowing how to play the game and surrounding yourself with guys like that, willing passers.
7 straight points for the Warriors. Butler on Washington. Curry coming off the screen. Steph, 1 of 2 from the floor, turns it over there. Thompson up the floor. Hits Irving, who tried to draw the foul on Butler, got out of the way. Podziemski left-handed down court. Green to the trailer. Steph. Curry hangs. And it rolls around and drops for his 2nd basket.
Kyrie, unusual, one of the best finishers in the game, and just lost his footing there.
9 straight Warrior points. 3-pointer no good from Marshall. To 2 years ago when he was in college, averaged almost double figures as a rebounder. Najee Marshall trying to defend Curry. Curry driving and finding a wide open Green. Green no good. Pinballs around. Irving tracks it down. Marshall drives. Washington spots up. Three is almost an air ball. Just grazed the rim. Curry has it now. Down court to Draymond. Green attacking. Fouled by Irving. First on Kyrie. Second Dallas foul.
Tremendous.
And Green knocks down the first free throws. We look at our upcoming win over Denver. Will face his former team for the first time.
It's fascinating, this Dallas. But look, Dallas has probably the three best, most depth at center of any team in the league, Dave, and they're all hurt. I mean, Anthony Davis, Gafford, and Lively, you don't get a better top to bottom center position, and they don't have any of them available. So it's hard to judge this team and certainly that trade. This guy, we know what he does, and
right?
Yeah, of course. But look, in the history of the league, we've seen a lot of big trades. It never got off the ground. I mean, you look at Phoenix with Beal, Durant, Booker. You don't really know, right? But that one, as far as surprise, Dave, yeah, number one most surprised on that one.
Step off the bounce, cans a three. First triple of the day for Curry. 206 on the year, and it's a 13-0 run. Marshall fires underneath. Might have been a travel, and it was on Prosper.
Well, this is where
Kyrie Irving went off. Curry 3 of 4 shooting so far. Pulls up, can't bank it home. Tipped out to Prosper. Irving, he'll pull up. And misfire again. Rebound Hield. Irving struggling so far. 0 for 5 from the field. Dinwiddie defending Curry. Max Christie, who came over as part of that trade for Luka Doncic. He's out there. Count the basket. And the foul. A three-point chance. And Curry on the cusp of double figures just 7 minutes into the game.
And he hasn't been getting out. But Jimmy Butler, Draymond promised it, Dave. He said they're going to win the trophy. But look, the fact that he said that, he wasn't saying that before the Butler trade, so he must feel very, very good about it.
Well, there's no question as Christie misses, just a belief that's back.
Sure.
And that's because of the presence of Jimmy Butler, the energy. You mentioned the word stability again that he brings.
Yeah, again, I mean, and just the experience, really. The guy has played high-level basketball in the playoffs for quite some time, and very well. And to get a guy like that, you just know what you're getting on a team that has a lot of feel about the Jimmy Butler addition. It's just huge. It's just a huge thing, and that's why the Warriors felt at the deadline they had to do something.
Here's Hield, misfire on the three, and rebounded by nothing run, but it came to an end on that last possession. Christie's been great. He's short on that one, but since coming over from the trade, he scored. That's a personal best. Looney draws the foul. He had the smaller Irving on him, and that is Dwight Powell and Daniel Gafford. Had to have somebody give him some minutes as a big, so they signed Moody recently to a 10-day contract, played 11 minutes in their last game Friday, a win over the Pelicans.
That's the worst thing about being a GM. You feel like I've got the center position at least under control. And
Moses Brown spent some time with Dallas back in 2022. He's on his 6th team in 6 years out of UCLA. Brown is some kid. And talking with him last week when they beat the...
They need this time to find out if Jason Kidd's right. That's the question. Because he might be right. Maybe you do need 2 bigs, and Cleveland's probably the best example of that. Two maybe non-shooting bigs. You can see Anthony Davis can shoot the 3. It's not the best thing he does, but he's capable of doing it. Boston plays bigs that shoot all kinds of 3s. So if they're going to play 2 bigs, Anthony Davis is going to have to be encouraged to shoot more from there, because that's not what Gafford does. That's not what Lively does. But you need time to try it, Dave, and that's why they want to get these guys back as soon as they can.
Butler from mid-range cans it. Hoop on the other end for Dallas. Christie's 3rd year out of Michigan State, was a 2nd-round pick by the Lakers in 2022. Marshall, corner 3 is there. 3-point shooter, around 32%, but Davis.
Warriors came out in a zone there, and that's the right shot in the zone. Find the open shot, the corner 3. Good job by Marshall.
Santos gets the offensive rebound off the Pajemski miss. Butler, contact, he'll go to the line. Washington picks up the foul. Jimmy Butler.
Not what Butler does, but Butler's so good at getting angles and gets the free throw line.
And celebrates this community. Scan to learn more. Dave Pashbaugh up by 8, inside 2 to play in the opening quarter. Butler with 6 points. A turnover by the Mavs. Santos ahead to Pajemski. He'll pull up for 3. It's good.
He's playing with a lot of confidence. Pajemski went through some struggles early, but starting lineup for him has been huge. And he's just playing more free, simpler. I mean, that's what we keep talking about. The complexity of this, the decision-making of this offense, but Butler just cleans things up. He just slows things down. Not so hectic for this Warriors group, and this isn't something they need.
Pajemski to the basket. Warriors have their large advantage.
And this is where, if you're Dallas, you're watching, going, "Wow, you know, this is a struggle. We're not getting anything going." They're hoping Anthony Davis can really erase a lot of what we're seeing here. It's just Warriors are not known for getting to the rim. They're getting there very easily this first quarter.
That was Santos, and now another steal. Hield finds Butler down the middle of the paint, and he's fouled. 2 on Washington. More free throws for Golden State, who look like a different.
Playing looser in a more confident way.
Dinwiddie got the foul, his second. Butler not throw. Steph on the bench with 10 points, 7 for Butler. With the acquisition of Butler, now we still have 2 months left to the playoffs. About 25
shot at making the top 6 than Dallas, even though Dallas has got the better record.
Here's Brown down the lane. He's fouled. Oh, traveled first. Has not scored. He's 0 for 5 from the floor. Butler's 3, not there. Santos, another offensive rebound. Hield on the step back. Another miss. Christie. Game and shot clocks here at the end of the opening frame. Marshall drives underneath and a block. Brown got it back and scores. He will wait for it. Clock starts on the touch. 4 seconds to go. Pajemski harassed, gets the 3 away in front of the Warrior bench, but it's no good. So Golden State
attacking the rim. We got off to a hot start, so we got to get some stops and settle in.
And part of that hot start was Steph. This league has been trying to figure out ways to stop him for a long time now. But what are some ways you can limit his productivity going forward?
Just effort. It takes a team. Like I said, we just got to settle in. It's an early game. Get together as a team.
For Dallas with 5 points. Meanwhile, a basket by Draymond Green, and then that too small motion he made it to Iguodala too, as he was looking up the floor at his old teammate after he schooled a possession for the Mavericks, who are shooting 33%. A turnover. Here's Irving, 0 for 5 from the floor in that first quarter. Edwards misses. Irving tips it up and in for his first.
These 15-point leads don't make them like they used to, right? I mean, these swings in NBA games now, they're never over, right? Till the very end, clearly. But this is the 3-point shot makes it such a different game.
Great response there by Edwards to make the play defensively and get the block. Edwards in his 4th year out of Pepperdine. Irving through the lane out to Washington. Thompson got the defender off his feet. Clay thought he was fouled. In the 2 previous games here at Chase Center, he was 13 of 23 from behind the arc. Pajemski left alone, around and out. And until he was interrupted by somebody during his shooting drills.
I was going to say hi, Dave. I mean, I know the
2 minutes gone by, second quarter. Warriors by 16. Thompson drives and called for the offensive foul. His second personal.
Yeah, a little frustration there.
They're 4-1 since they made their blockbuster move for Jimmy Butler. Here is Butler. He's got 9 points so far, 5 of 5 at the line. Finds post in the corner, and the 3 is good. Boy, he's been shooting lights out. 7.
Butler, though, I mean, Post did his job knocking it down, but Butler just, he never seems like he's rushed, in a hurry. Great basketball player, just an entire complete game.
Thompson drives, turns it over again. Moody in the open floor. Warriors have numbers. Irving had to be careful not to pick up his 3rd foul. He got the clean strip. Moody finds the ball again and missed the shot. Butler tracks it down, shovel the post, and Post with the slam.
Timeout. Jason Kidd is getting away from a little bit here. 21 points down in the second quarter, but they're getting beat, Dave, to all the loose balls, the energy. Dallas came out, but the Warriors responded, up 21. 9 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Lead is 21 for Golden State. The Mavs actually led 9-4. They had 4 early baskets, but only 5 since. Exum corner 3, got it. Dante.
And Jason Kidd likes him. He'll play him long minutes in big games. He's got the big size, and with that three-point shot that he's now become very good at, a big weapon for this team.
Here's Post on the back, down with the shot clock at 3, and Post fouled. Post playing in his 19th game. He started 7 this year for Golden State. The Warriors, they're still losing. Joel Embiid benched last night. They lost a key game to Brooklyn, who right now has the upper hand on them to try to get closer to the play.
And it's just, you just never know, right? We talked about the Luka trade, all the criticism around Dallas. Well, Sixers signed Paul George. A lot of teams wanted to sign Paul George, and a lot of people have the Sixers in the top 3 of the East. And you got to play the games, and that's why the NBA is so excited. You got to play it out and see how it all finishes.
Here's Green all the way to the basket, but missed the layup. Exum racing up the court, almost had it knocked away by Santos. Marshall, extra pass. Edwards has to pull it out. Shot clock down to 5. Exum again getting into the paint. Edwards in and out. Rebound Post.
A great recovery there. That was a really solid defensive possession.
Draymond Green's his 9th straight game back after missing 7 in a row because of injury. A Warriors turnover leads to a dunk in transition for Edwards.
That's his patience.
May have to bleep some of that out depending on the player.
I know.
Got a foul here as Christie pushes Payton to the ground. That's the 2nd team foul on Dallas here in the quarter.
We keep mentioning it, Dallas missing all their bigs, but they've been getting blown by on the perimeter too.
Dallas has won 3 straight, longest since a 7-game win streak in November, December, before Doncic got hurt on Christmas Day. That's when the slide started for the Mavericks. Santos saved it, but right to Thompson. He'll pull off, miss another one. He's 0 for 3. 3rd game back. The previous 2, he was lights out. And now he's defending Curry here. Steph had 12 straight points to beat Thompson and the Warriors in one of the games earlier this year. Post working hard on the glass. Can't get it to fall. Saved. Marshall looking to attack Curry. Goes right at his chest. And a foul called on Curry. That is his first and the first on Golden State in the quarter.
Yeah, Clay, they're going to need Clay. He's played tremendous here. Tough start here. Quarter. He took his boat over here.
Had you done it, you would have won a 5th championship. You guys probably would have beaten Toronto.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All right. Guaranteed one this year. I'm not part of it. They're going to get it.
Draymond Green making that promise recently. Here's Curry, and he can't bury it. Rebound Marshall. Curry 1 for 3 from out there. Marshall underneath to Prosper. They work it around to Christie. Good look. Irving drills it. Kyrie Irving with his first 3-pointer, and Dallas back within 13.
Of the ball, Mavericks at least giving themselves a chance to dig into this big lead here.
Santos, as Marshall fell down, can't answer, but Looney, a big part of all the championship with the Warriors with the stick back.
Big bucket there. Dallas trying to make a push. Looney getting that putback.
Kyrie Irving averaging 29 points per game in the month of February, scored 30 or more in 6 of his last 13 games. Prosper inside. Started 4 games this year, 2nd year out of Marquette. Payton. Nice find. Moody in the corner. Couldn't get airspace. Prosper right there to greet him. Moody underneath to Looney. Got stripped. Moody cleans it up, though, and lays it home.
Down there, they're trying, but it's just tough without any kind of size at the rim.
Christie comes up short on the triple try. Out of bounds. Looney touched it.
Now it's Kyrie Irving trying to do the job of a 7-footer. And the good news is, again, I don't know if maybe Cassidy knows, but that guy's coming back. I think Gafford's coming back. Lively's the one I don't quite know.
The countdown today said still a few weeks away for Anthony Davis. They're expecting all of them to have a reevaluation here in the next couple weeks. Washington soars to the rim, double clutch and stuff.
Hanging around. If Dallas, 10 points is nothing at the half. They just got to stay connected. Steve Kerr sees the same thing, doesn't like the feel of things. Nico and Rob knew each other so well because Nico represented Kobe at Nike, and obviously Rob is Kobe's agent. So it's a small world, but I do think relationship. I don't underestimate the fact that can really help you get a deal done. People are going to comment on whether it was a good or bad deal, but getting a deal done, a trade done, is very difficult. And I think that history, that trust, helped those guys get there on the deal.
Did you make trades with guys either you didn't know or didn't like? You don't have to name names. As bodies hit the floor, they're trying to tie up Pajemski.
I can't answer that question on ABC.
Oh, I didn't say you
didn't know, didn't like. How much time do we have? No.
Just 16 points for Golden State in the second. Curry with 12 points, tried to throw it down court. Butler tipped it to Hield, and the Mavericks have the ball. Marshall, a team-high 7 points off the bench for Dallas. Spent his first 4 seasons with New Orleans. Washington doubled. Marshall on the drive, puts it in.
Not respecting Marshall's 3 at all, playing a lot of help defense, but again, this is the issue. You know, Dallas.
Third team foul on Dallas. Draymond Green, 7 points. And now 2 of 3 at the line. Boston beating the Knicks. Green knocks down both free throws.
And neither team shooting well from 3, both around 25%. But that's the difference right there. The Warriors are getting to the free throw line, and that's not what they do well.
Marshall no good on the 3. Without that size to get offensive rebounds and second chance opportunities. Oh, what a drive by Butler, shaking Marshall and putting it in off the window.
His footwork too. It reminds me of Brunson. I mean, people overlook footwork, and he just creates those angles. He's so strong and smart. And once he got by, it was easy.
Lob pass broken up. Pajemski trying to save it. Butler to Curry. Fires to Hield. Rhythm bounce. And a 3.
The hustle play again. Jimmy Butler's going to get no credit for that, but he secured that. It was a jump ball, him and P.J. Washington. Jimmy Butler doesn't miss out on too many 50-50 balls.
Lead back to 20. Short. Marshall, 9-2 run by Golden State. Curry telling Pajemski to reverse it over to Hield. Curry trying to get free from Dinwiddie. Butler drives, foul, count the basket, and a 3-point chance. That's 13 now for Butler in his first game at home since he was traded here to the Warriors.
Again, he's doing it 13 points. He wanted to get money, to get paid.
And he got it here.
He got it. And so, you know, when you get a motivated Jimmy Butler, there's Mike Dunleavy who made the deal. Hats off. This Warriors team picked the direction, is his words. We picked the direction, we picked the course, and Butler good.
They're currently 2 games above 500. They have not been 3 above 500 in 2 months. Let's check in with Cassidy.
Yeah, I spoke to Steve Kerr about his understanding of Jimmy's ability to elevate his game on the biggest stages as Steph gets an acrobatic basket to go, aka playoff Jimmy, guys, and how that can help them as they're already talking about these final 26 games as playoff mode. And he told me his ability is all encompassing, saying there's more margin for error. He seems to solve so much stuff out there that the game keeps moving, saying they're feeling this connection to the game within the game that is powerful, and it comes directly from him. He says he's kind of an old school player. He's got this swagger and this nature of what this team has needed, guys.
He led Miami to the finals 2 out of 4 years, and both times they were not in the postseason, but not him.
Well, you could simply call him a winner. That's what he does. He wins at a high level.
About a 4-second difference in the game in shot clocks after the Curry miss on the other end. Now a Warriors foul. Check that, foul's on Hield. Inside, Washington with the basket. Double him right at midcourt. He made one from that spot in the game at the All-Star game here last weekend. Instead, Pajemski with the shot. No good at the buzzer. Games back of avoiding that and getting into the top 6. They're 1 game back of 7th. Minnesota and Dallas are currently in that spot. Here's Moody from the corner. No good on the 3 to start. Kyrie Irving can get going, just 5 points. As we mentioned, Thomas none in the last meeting a week ago as Thompson's finally on the board.
Yeah, Dave, I spoke with assistant head coach Jared Dudley just about the biggest message at the half, and he had 42. He was just 2 of 10 in that first half. He told me that they're loading up on Kyrie. We have to get more shooting around them, guys.
They have won 5 of 6 as Moody tips it in. Caleb Martin, another player they got in the trade that has a history of playoff success, but he's been out missing his 8th straight game with a hip injury. Tom. Moody sneaking down court with the easy two.
That's just too easy. And again, for the Mavs to get back in, it's going to be this guy with the ball right here, making something happen, or Klay Thompson. And both of them thus far have just not had the typical nights that they're used to.
Pajemski shadowing Irving, gets a little airspace, but the three is off target. He's 2 of 11 overall. Curry driving on Thompson and puts it home. Steph Curry scores. He's averaging close to 30 points per game in the month of February. Had a stretch of 4 consecutive 30-point games for the first time in 4 years. Empty possession for the Mavs. Butler looking for Curry. Washington right in his grill. Curry 1 3-pointer so far in the game. Pajemski bumped by Edwards and a foul. Call an early timeout, but all Warriors since. Dallas goes to the Lakers next on Tuesday. Luka Doncic had his best game as a Laker last night in the win over Denver. What a pass by Curry. And
that's a great recognition. Just knew he didn't have much time. Caught it, released it right away. Left-handed little floater.
7 points and 9 rebounds for Pajemski. An 8-0 run right now by the Warriors. After Thompson started the quarter with a 3-pointer for the Mavs. Shot clock at 3. Thompson driving and missed it, but he will shoot 2. First trip to the line for Thompson, just the third.
It's a lot of toll on Draymond, but he says the rest of
They've employed the second most starting lineups in the NBA behind Philadelphia.
Look at that stat right there. Just Kyrie and Klay.
20-point lead, 3 minutes into the third quarter. The Warriors winners of 2 in a row. Dallas has won 3 in a row. Those have been rarities, those winning streaks. Washington knocked it away from Green, but then on the follow through caught his arm. And that's his third foul, third team foul on Dallas.
For the Mavs, that guy we just saw, Anthony Davis, is also not loving playing center either, but I imagine the Mavs would take any 7-footer they can get.
Curry with the left finishes. He's got 18, a game high. Point game, which is a season long. Floater is good from Irving. Just actually shooting under 40% for 3 on the season. In stride, Thompson drills the 3, and it was Irving with the great look.
Great recognition. Kyrie had his own shot. Could have driven or pulled up himself, but saw Klay Thompson over there on the right wing. Moody gets caught. Dallas has already picked up some early fouls, but Kyrie recognizing
it's significant.
Well, one injury is usually a lot to overcome. One season ending, you talk about ACL and Achilles, what he's dealt with. But then you talk about back-to-back 2 of those. And just the rehab alone, Dave, just the rehab alone, still be out here competing like he is a testament to his love for basketball, his work ethic.
Irving on the back cut. Puts that one off the glass. So Irving and Thompson doing their part, but can they get stops on the other end? Curry working on Christie. Drives, floats it up, no, but he'll go to the line. 18 points so far, make it 19. ESPN, boy, what the Cavs did 2 nights ago to the Knicks.
Yeah. They're a complete team. I mean, the Cavs are, I was in the studio for that. There's nothing they don't have in high-level Eastern Conference Finals games. Certainly not the finals since LeBron was there, but you look at their team. What they got depth, they got a bench, they got a star, they got bigs, they got defense. They rank in the top 10 in both offense and defense. And so you look at Josh, it took him a long time to make the call.
Well, you actually made a salient point during the break that they maybe were looking to see if there was a proximate foul on Green. Yeah, on the reach in as he scores.
Yeah, it took a long time to make the call. But secondly, you talk about the behind the bench, what happens there. They do have somebody with an iPad, and fascinatingly, you can track the success rate of these challenges, so to say. So that guy's, you can measure his job performance. You can say you're failing. You have a 60% success rate, but good job there by the Warriors.
Back, and he's starting to get going now. He's got 6. Thompson has 8 here in the third quarter after the 2 struggled in the first half. But again, will it be enough? Can they get stops? Curry in and out. 20-point mark for the 701st time in his career. 21st NBA player to reach 700. Did that Friday against Sacramento. And
leadership that he's developed, I'm actually surprised. I didn't know that he had it, and now we're seeing it. I think we saw it last year in their run to the finals.
Curry banks that one. Going back to that run last year, how he's helped grow the young players, and now he'll be really good for a guy like Max Christie. Thompson on target.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting because just what Kyrie's doing, this is what you miss sometimes. When you're at the games, you can just really focus on one guy and watch how he reacts that you don't maybe get as much otherwise. You really get a good feel for who's who.
Arena on Friday, and Kyrie took note of Mavericks team as the full-blown leader of Dallas's team this year.
All right, Cassidy. Bob, will you have a potential locker room shaking trade? Have players like Irving, your best players, being your best leaders?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, even the other side of it with LeBron getting to maybe mentor Luka on habits. Oh, wow.
Irving taking a shot upstairs that time. He'll go to the line.
It's just like anything, though. You go into a new environment, you look around and go, who's in charge here? And you start watching all that with Kyrie even last year. We covered the finals. You did playoff games of the Mavs. I am certain that the leader was Kyrie of that team. And that's not a knock on Luka. Kyrie maybe wasn't a leader at 20, but he's grown into it, and it's fun to see and fun to watch. He was early. He went through the fire as well, through the gauntlet, and has come out. And I think, and this guy right here he's betting on Kyrie. Trade, Dave, for now. I mean, this team, they traded a very young player for a guy, and Anthony Davis is 5 years older. So the idea was we're going for it now. And part of that is this belief in the guy that just shot those free throws, Kyrie Irving.
Davis will turn 32 on March 11th. AD got hurt for an adductor injury. This is the 5th straight game he's missed. He's out for at least a few more weeks. So when you talk about the leadership of Kyrie Irving, how about on the other side? Is this an opportunity, as a three goes for Peyton, Doncic could be the leader to help them win a title, help get them to the finals. Can he learn from this when it comes to the leadership area?
Luka?
Yes.
Well, I certainly imagine it shook him because superstars personally, but I do know if it is a wake-up call that's needed, or if it was a message, you couldn't find one that's more poignant. You know, we just did it. But again, he has LeBron James there with him, and LeBron's work habits. You can't sit there if you're Luka and watch what LeBron does at 40 years old and say, well, I'm not going to show up. So it's a fascinating experiment. We'll see what happens.
Santos commits the foul. Three-point chance for YP. Washington missed the free throw. Rebound Peyton. A 3:40 left here in the third quarter. Curry, 22 points to lead all scorers. He's got Washington on him here. Curry gets past him, gives it up to Santos. The three not there. Offensive rebound, Peyton. Out to Steph. Lets it fly. Cans it. 25 for Curry. His second three.
Opportunity. Can't give this Warriors team too many of those, especially with the Mavs just fighting to stay connected, but cannot break that. He's under control.
This feels like he has to work so much less when Butler's not on the floor right now, as Curry hits back-to-back triples. And he just gave the good night sign as well towards the Mavs bench. Largest lead of the game for the Warriors.
Is that an early good night call? I feel like it's like a 5 p.m. go to bed. I mean, I don't know if it's push to bed. I mean, that's an early call, right? I mean, third quarter, I'm the Mavs. I'm like, okay, you know.
Well, Washington came back and hit a three. Curry made two in a row. Now he drives past two guys. Banks in the floater. Curry heating up.
I guess if you're that good and you can control the outcome, you can do whatever you want.
A 30-point afternoon for Steph Curry, and still going. Sneaking inside his heart and going to work again here. They'll blitz him at midcourt. Looney. Contact, blocking foul. Looney will shoot two. Hardy picks up his second. 8. He's out there to close out the third quarter with the Warriors up 21.
Little zone for the Warriors here, coming out of the timeout.
And they're going to call an offensive foul here on the drive against Marshall. That's his first.
I still can't get over.
He might have more confidence than anybody that's ever played this game, and that's saying something.
Yes.
Some confident dudes in this league, as a foul is called here on the cut. Tangled up with Hardy, and that's How much easier things have been for Curry with Butler on the floor. So it's his presence, Jimmy Butler, but
Is it sustainable? And there's no reason to believe it isn't. But some of it's that, like, oh my gosh, we're amped up, we're ready to go. Butler is, even when you're off that emotional high, he just brings so much beyond that. I mean, he brings how he plays and how it fits this team. It'd be fascinating to see. Wow,
Curry off the mark on a 30-footer.
See how long it goes and where he can get this Warriors team to in this conference.
Blocking foul on Curry, his third. I guess that's the question. Can the Warriors sustain?
Look at it, matchups in the playoffs. And, you know, you look at these two teams.
Columbus Blue Jackets. Final minute of the third quarter. Here's Butler. No points here in the third, but 14 in the first half. He'll drive on Christie, get him off his feet, and can't kiss it home, but the tip is there.
I mean, Butler shot didn't go, but he's still one of the best in the league at getting to his spot. That shot didn't bounce in, but that's when you need in close games, close series. And Butler has been fantastic that his whole career.
On his teammates, sometimes they play at a very frenetic pace. About a 4-second difference in the game and shot clocks here at the end of the third quarter. Butler driving on Exum. Leans in, tries to create some space, and a foul called on Exum. 3 months of the season. No Butler
Level. Who's going to separate themselves? You know, OKC and Denver, and after that, the West.
Largest lead for the Warriors at 25. Exum ahead to Washington with 2 seconds left. Washington misses it, and that's it for the third quarter. A quarter owned by Spies. With Bob Myers, Cassidy Hubbard, I'm Dave Pash. Golden State in front by 25 over the Mavericks. Steph Curry leading the way with 30 points. Golden State looking to win for the third straight time. For the first time since late November. 3 games above 500. Haven't been there in a few months. Jimmy Butler starting the fourth quarter on the floor along with Draymond Green, Podziemski, Moody, and Post. Here's Podziemski in the lane, and he gets the bounce. Podziemski 9 points and 11 rebounds. That matches a career high for boards.
Really good rebounder for a guard.
Irving's threes around and out. Irving deep, 15 points.
Yeah, without the 5 position, just being so naked for the Mavericks. Irving, he's just going to, not just today, Dave, but the rest of the stretch until they get somebody back. It's just a lot of weight on him. Max Christie, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington to just do it in a very difficult environment without any help from any big guy.
Somehow Butler's pass got. AD's missing his 5th consecutive game, not due back anytime soon. Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, Dwight Powell, the other 3 bigs are still out for the Mavericks, and they play the Lakers in LA on Tuesday. First time since the trade. Doncic will be available. Played great for the Lakers last night. By far his best game, 35 points. As
this Western Conference, you're looking at 2 teams right here that are at 8th and 9th currently, and you say, well, where are these teams going to end up? And Butler gives the Warriors this huge lift, which we're already seeing. Good chance they end up here at 4-1. Dallas in a playoff series with Anthony Davis. This game's look 25 points, 10 minutes to go. Can you say who's going to definitely win that series, right? And you watch this game, you go, the Warriors are going to kill that. Well, you know, much different game when Dallas has probably one of the best, you know, when Anthony Davis is on, he's one of the best 10 two-way players in the league. And then you look at all these other teams like Houston and Memphis and the Lakers and the Clippers and all these other things that are jumbled up. They're going to settle. It's fascinating. I have Denver and OKC a little bit above. It's not to say they couldn't get knocked out somewhere.
right now, Memphis is 2nd in the West. The game up on Denver in the loss column after that Denver loss last night. Here's Prosper. 3-pointer is good. Houston in 5th. Clippers trying to hang on to that 6th spot. They've surprised some people this year, as well as they've played most of the season without Kawhi Leonard. On the back down points. He's averaging 20 in a handful of games as a Warrior. Brandon Williams, he was great last week against Golden State. Williams had 12 points. He couldn't finish there. Now Butler down court. Podziemski corner 3. Got it.
That's the tired. Well, a lot of people like watching Curry play, but Jimmy gets to play with him, and obviously Steve's gotten to coach him for over 10 years now.
Year 16 in the league for Curry. He'll turn 37 on March 14th. Moody's 3 off the mark. Out of bounds, and it's going to stay with the Warriors. They're keeping Butler and Green on the floor. We have yet to see Curry in the fourth. The score 111-82. Golden State plays again Tuesday against Charlotte, then a 5-game road. Right now, you've got 2 games separating 6 from 8th and 3 games 6 from 9th. But there's no guarantee that the Warriors are going to get into the play-in. Sacramento is a game back of them in the loss column. Phoenix is 2 games back in the loss column. Green can't get that one to fall. Kyrie Irving has checked out. So is Klay Thompson. Don't know that we'll see them again. Here's Brandon Williams from deep, nailing a 3.
Yeah, I think, you know, Dallas, you're going to have teams like Dallas that are not healthy and are not getting
injury, but there's a chance we see him on this road trip coming up for the Warriors.
Yeah, and that'll be big, and they'll be whole. They haven't been whole for quite some time. Then it's additive to the team. But it'll be, like I said, you look at the standings, they're so jumbled up, and who's going to be able to make that stretch run?
Post call for the foul, tried to swat it away from Prosper.
Fans don't like it because they're looking at the post part of it, but it was Butler they got.
Upcoming national TV, up a game in the loss column over Dallas for the 7th spot, I should say. TNT Tuesday, Cleveland at Orlando.
Tuesday night, and maybe uncomfortable in some ways for some of the guys, but the real game for me is the April game. Both teams stay healthy, and that'll be an overanalyzed game for sure.
3-pointer from Pajemski. 17 points, playing his best basketball of the season right now. He had a great rookie year, struggled a little bit.
We were here a month or so ago. When he was missing bad. And now he just don't think he's playing. And look at that line. Look at what a stat line right there.
The last 3 games, 13 boards, 3 3-pointers. They're in the midway point here in the final quarter in San Francisco. Kevin Knox is on the floor, so Green and Butler are.
Says he's gonna. We talked to him in the pregame, Dave. Remember, he's going to be careful with the minutes of Butler, Green, Curry, understanding they're all a little older, and he just can't risk any injury down the stretch.
And that is a balancing act, because obviously you want the guys to play together and find their rhythm as a group. And you have to make sure you get in at worst to the play against the age and the minutes, making sure those guys get their rest. Prosper won't fall. And Kevin Knox tips it to Collins. Now Knox on the other end. Spencer, no good on the 3. Hardy fouled by Collins. We've seen drastic improvement from Curry, Pajemski, and Green with Butler in just a short amount of time. We got a timeout, 5:19 left. Warriors on their way to win number 30 on the year. Important was he to the Warriors?
More important than people think. You know, and I don't know how people's opinion of Andre, but after the playoffs is the #1 seed, and we hadn't done much in the playoffs. Furthest had been the 2nd round, and he was not even on that team. We'd lost to the Clippers the year before in the 1st round, but his leadership that deal done. But when he came, he really had this kind of poise in a MVP. Was such a great story, because that's the year Steve Kerr asked Andre to come off the bench, and Andre deserved it. It allowed Steve to coach the team, and it allowed everybody to kind of fall in line, and to see Andre rewarded with the Finals MVP, it's just a fascinating story.
You use the word stability in talking about how did Iguodala stabilize what you guys had here. And is there anything specific that stands out about how you got him and why you targeted him? He was with Denver for a year after a long stint in Philadelphia where he started his career.
Well, we play. Andre did. He could guard his player. He could help you guard your player. And just an elite pass step and play. Let them play a lot off the ball. Andre could play on the ball. Was a great distributor, great defender. And so all those things. But ironically, when we met with him, he had already made up his mind. I mean, a lot of times you meet with a free agent, you try to convince them. This is a Quentin Post 3-point show here. You meet with free agents and you go into a sell job and you say, we think you could help us. And he just said, stop. I don't even know I want to come. You know, just stop, figure out the money. You know? And I thought, oh, we're going to figure out the money. We didn't have the money, and so we went on this 10-day bender of trying to get off some contracts. Richard Jefferson, one of the guys, Dave Pash, one of my coworkers. We had to get off. So RJ, I love you, but we've talked about this before.
Diminishing skills.
Well,
at that point,
he came back around. He did knock 2000s. A lot of them certainly don't live up to that, unfortunately. He was dictating what defenses we should play. He was telling the coaches, that's a good idea, but here's what we need to do. We need to guard LeBron. You think that's best? Because he knew so much. One of the smartest guys really to ever play, and certainly on the defensive side of the ball.
1-27. This will end their 3-game winning streak. Their next game in a couple of days in LA against the Lakers. And that's a foul in post, shoving Prosper to the ground.
Team, and this is what we saw today, Dave. This is Dallas giving their best shot, but it's by no means who they're
missing his 15th straight game. Powell, his 15th straight game. Davis, this is this week's about when those guys will come back, and then we'll get to see what they look like, because Anthony Davis, before the move, Rob Pelinka, who's here today because he was Iguodala's agent, one of the things Davis wanted, he made that clear in some interviews he did with ESPN, was he wanted a 5 so that he could play the power forward position. It sounds like he's going to get a chance with Dallas. Warriors missing some threes.
Not a lot of teams do that anymore. You do see Cleveland. I guess you can talk about Boston doing it, but they shoot it and then do it. And I wonder if Thibodeau, when Mitchell Robinson comes back, will he play him with Towns?
That's a good thought, yeah.
And so maybe kid's onto something. Now, I do think the caveat there is, can he encourage him, and can Davis live up to shooting from a decent percentage so people have to honor him out there? Because the spacing still matters, even if you're playing too big.
And there's no question, when you look at that run, they obviously don't get there without Doncic and Irving. But the trades that Harrison made last year to bring in P.J. Washington to postseason for the Mavs a year ago.
Yeah, and Nico Harrison's almost been already judged on this trade already, right? It's already, a lot of people upset, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. And time will tell, right? Time will tell. But a lot of people early on certainly upset, and that ended up in NBA Finals last year.
Santos hits a 3, and it's who did that motion of the bedtime celebration with about 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, and Draymond just frozen.
Watching that and remembering that, and that's.
Had Dallas won this game, if there was a tiebreaker, Dallas would have the advantage. Improved to 30-27. They've won 3 in a row. They're 5-1 since the Jimmy Butler trade, and this was a rout. Steph Curry with a 30-point game in just 3 quarters. Jimmy Butler had 14 of his 18 points in the first half.